Breaking news, this is CNN trauma-based mind control news talking about impeachment and how war is glorious. Well, no, not really. Well, too much. Do we just have negative, depressing, low vibrational stories in our newsfeed, because that's actually what the social media algorithm pushes. Today we're going to do something different. Now this video may not go mega viral, may not be popular, but I think it's important to highlight the small victories we have in this world. And one of the small victories, in my opinion, is of course having a newborn baby, a new child. And if you remember, exactly 1 year ago to this date, we were with Dr. Ron Paul at his house in front of the Liberty Tree with, of course, newborn baby Liberty Weeks, who is also the very lucky daughter of Jovi and Stephanie Weeks. We also have Jeff Berwick, the dollar vigilante, hanging out in the back. These two guys are pretty much like my best friends out there, my mentors out there. And I've been lucky enough to travel with them. We are right now at a private airport that, of course, is just blasting CNN, because that's what CNN does. This is how they get the majority of their viewerships. But today is actually Liberty Weeks' birthday. An amazing child. And being here, holy cow, she already broke a Guinness World Record. Tell us all the accomplishments that Liberty Weeks. First, let's hear from Liberty. Liberty, give us a comment.
She can sleep anywhere.
Yeah, she's a great kid. Doesn't cry that often, and literally just like is able to sleep anywhere. And Guinness World Record. Tell us about this.
So she was born today at
October 22nd.
at 7:51 a.m. and
A year ago.
Next afternoon at 5 p.m. we took off on an adventure to all 50 states, because there was a small child that was 6 months old from Canada, and she held the record. And we were like, oh no, we can't have somebody from Canada holding the US record. So we set out to break her record, and we did so in 42 days, and Liberty was 43 days old. So she is the youngest person to go to all 50 states. And
now she's been to about 40
awesome.
countries now, especially this week. I mean, when Luke met up with us, we went from Dominican Republic to Aruba and Bonaire and Curacao and Trinidad and Tobago. We're in Grenada now, heading to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and then up Guadeloupe and Martinique and Montserrat, all the way looping the Caribbean, getting more stamps for Liberty's passport.
And already Liberty's not just a perpetual traveler, but she's also an entrepreneur. And already she has done a lot of amazing things through like foundations and different organizations, different causes that you guys have done as well. You guys want to talk about that a little bit?
So Joby and I, when we first met, we took on a project to help orphans around the world. And since we've had our own child, it took on a different meaning. So everywhere we go, we like to let Liberty go to see these children. And so what we'll do is, like when we went to the Bahamas, Joby went and bought a whole bunch of clothes and products and things, and we took it to the orphanage there and delivered it, which was really
shelters,
great.
because of the hurricane. Dorian
Yes.
came and smashed the
Hundreds
Bahamas.
of children were displaced from Abaco to the Bahamas, and they had nothing. And so all of the shelters have been overwhelmed with children, and they need toiletries and these kind of things. So to date, Liberty's been able to support 130 kids and 10 mothers so they can stay with their children, and then also an after-school program. So we want to make sure that she learns to give back and create value and, love.
Already a world traveler, globetrotter, and entrepreneur at the same time. And of course, entrepreneur Joby's like one of the most hustling person. That's not even a correct wordage of saying it, but he's one of the most hardworking, connected individuals, entrepreneur that I know.
You gotta have the hustle.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, serial
so many
entrepreneur.
opportunities that, when you're ADD like me, you're like, Bitcoin, cannabis, real estate, whatever it is, you get so excited about a lot of stuff.
What are you most excited about right now?
Merging crypto and cannabis and the internet all together. My goal.
It sounds like an anarchist, like wet dream.
It is.
Crypto, marijuana.
Yeah, right?
Wait, what?
Well, I was thinking to myself the other day, because we travel a lot. We've done 167 countries now. And the goal is to go everywhere and do everything. And a lot of people along the way we meet don't have the same opportunities that we as Americans and Canadians and Australians and New Zealanders and stuff, the guys with the first world, have, because the banks have blocked their countries from doing business with the first world, right? So you got the third world, you got the first world, and And so I wanted to have something, an opportunity that everyone everywhere could participate in the cannabis space. And I was thinking to myself, when I meet these guys from Uganda and Argentina and stuff, and they're like, well, how can I make money doing what you're doing? And I'm like, you can't. You don't have a brokerage account to go buy stock on the Canadian exchange for some cannabis pump and dump penny stock thing that, most of them are scams anyways. So how many people out there, of the 7 billion people on Earth, how many people have brokerage accounts to be able to buy stock or a security? Maybe 200 million, maybe 300 million out of 7 billion. So it's a very exclusive, not inclusive, and I'm trying to promote inclusive, conscious capitalism. And so I wanted to have a way for someone in Uganda or Rwanda to be able to participate in the cannabis boom, which in the U.S. it's $1 billion this year. It's going to be $22 billion a year over the next 5 years. So it's going straight to the moon. And so how can we do this? I mean, most people can't afford $1 million to set up a hemp farm. Let's say you got genetics and greenhouses and permits and water rights and lawyers and farmers and irrigation and all the headaches that go with actually setting up your own farm. So what we did was we've been teaching Liberty how to farm. She's got family in Iowa, and we decided after buying a hemp farm how difficult it is. We have to figure out a way to open this up for everybody everywhere. So that's basically what we did with yourcannabis.farm. Yourcannabis.farm is the link. You can read about it. And the idea is, instead of buying a stock or security, you actually buy a physical cannabis plant, a hemp plant, and you own it. It's serial number to you. Now, we do a profit split with the farmers who actually grow your plant, because a lot of the people out there can't grow their own marijuana. They're in a country where it's illegal to grow cannabis still. So how can those people participate in this boom? Well, with Bitcoin, with crypto, which anybody can set up a wallet in 30 seconds, they can now send Bitcoin off, buy a cannabis plant, and then that plant has a harvest 2 or 3 months later, and we chop the plant down. 50% goes to the farmer, and 50% goes to you. 3 months later, the plant grows again. We chop it down, 50% to the farmer, 50% to you. 3 months later, we chop the plant down, 50% to the farmer, 50% to you. So it's buying the goose that lays the golden egg, and you get paid back out in Bitcoin. And even if you're broke and you don't have money to buy your own cannabis plant, you're in Rwanda with no money, you can join for free. You can get an affiliate link. There's no monthly fees. There's nothing. And you can just start promoting cannabis and crypto to people on YouTube and Facebook, etc., and spam your link out to the world. And maybe someone in Sweden clicks your link and buys a cannabis plant. Now you make a commission. You make some money off the top for the sale of the plant, and you also make money every time that plant has a harvest. So that's kind of our program that we're now really excited about. And it's almost like mining Bitcoin, but instead of mining Bitcoin, we're growing Bitcoin with cannabis. And anyone anywhere on Earth can participate. So it's really exciting. We're going to do something with Jeff over here and maybe an Anarchast to talk more about the cannabis boom, because there's really exciting things you can do. I mean, cannabis, a pound of biomass right now is selling at $40 a pound. But if you take that and sell flour instead, you get $400 a pound. And if you turn that flour into joints, you can get $4,000 a pound. Yeah. And of course, people are paying right now for CBD oil, which is miraculous stuff, $50 a gram. So there's serious money to be made in the cannabis boom. And why not open it up to the whole entire world with crypto? So that's what we're doing. We're bouncing around these islands and having good, meeting people, and it's fun.
I mean, as you know, we've been in crypto. I think we were the first news organization to use crypto. When it comes to medical marijuana, we were talking about CBD, I think over 10 years ago, before CBD was even known to a lot of individuals. We were giving out independent media content out there for you, talking about the medical benefits that you could get. I was actually there with you with the Popfather in Amsterdam. Yes. Just doing a little feature video on this that you could watch 10 years ago. So the world is filled with opportunities. It's just about you understanding it.
Cannabis got legalized. We sat in front of the grocery store and the bank and the post office. We collected all the signatures. It was crazy. But Ron Paul had started the whole thing. He's like, just focus on the local level type stuff. And we were like, okay, we'll legalize weed. And so we got enough signatures. It was a ballot initiative. And if a congressman in your area won't introduce legislation for you, you can actually circumvent him and introduce your own legislation by collecting enough signatures, which is what we did.
Yeah.
And so our little town of Breckenridge got all the signatures needed to get it up on the ballot. We became the first town in America to legalize it, and then we took it to the other 64 counties. We called it Prop 64, and voila, Colorado became the first state. And now we're moving with cannabis and crypto so the whole world can participate, and it's really exciting to see. It's all about buying the goose that lays the golden egg so you can have the freedom to then travel around the world and enjoy life without having to worry about having to work for money, you know?
Yep. Well, that link will be in the description below. And I just remembered this meme that I saw with Dr. Ron Paul saying never used drugs in his life, but advocates for legalization of all drugs. And when you look at the kind of bigger issues into that, it absolutely makes sense. So she already broke the Guinness World Record. What's hopes for liberty at age 2? Any last comments before we go over to the Dollar Vigilante?
Well, she's making a wonderful impact in the lives of others already. She's raised a lot of money through Liberty's Lemonade. She's got a little virtual lemonade stand, and she's going and meeting all these fun people and all these interesting places, and we're going to continue taking her around the world with us and getting her a good education. You know what? Boots on the ground is a great way to see the world rather than watching CNN over here and getting lied to all day. Because you see what they say on CNN and then you show up in real life and it's completely different than what they're telling us. So the more you can travel, the better. And that's what I love about Luke and supporting him is he's always showing up in these war zones and stuff in Lebanon and
bringing positivity.
Chile and
I love having Luke
Hong
around because he's
Kong.
always so positive.
Very positive, and he does it all with a smile. But it's great to get the real story from this guy. So keep it up, Luke.
Well, right now we're kind of enjoying our time. Let's just be honest here, just a little bit. But we're working really hard here. We're learning and brainstorming here with the Dollar Vigilante, who, by the way, will have Joby Weeks on his Anarchast coming up. So definitely check out Jeff's little podcast that he does. He's going to go into this kind of topic that Joby was talking about in like an hour-long format. But Jeff, put you on the spot. What's your hopes for the future children out there, for liberty and the future generations?
I think that was an hour-long format with Joby already.
No, 12, it goes by so quickly. You just sit down and Joby already has like 10 different ideas, 10 different things you could get into and get involved in. But what's your comments here?
Hope for the future? In some ways, there's not a lot of hope. But in some ways, there is. As Joby was saying, like, we can all change the world. And Joby was a big part of that. We're going to have one of the other guys who really helped legalize cannabis across the world at Anarchapulco. And what's his name?
Michael Bowman.
Michael Bowman, yeah.
Colorado.
I've never met him myself, but sounds good. And, crypto is giving us hope. If it wasn't for crypto, I'd actually be giving up hope a lot because they're shutting down the banks. We're heading into a hyperinflation here in the next year or so. It's going to be the Bank of England governor, Mervyn King, just came out a couple of days ago, the ex-governor, and he said we're headed for financial Armageddon right away, like we're in it right now. And that's actually started to happen. So, I talk about that at the Dollar Vigilante all the time, but if it wasn't for crypto, and if it wasn't for people that going around and actually changing this world for the better, getting things legalized, decriminalized, I wouldn't have any hope whatsoever. I think the internet gives us some hope. We have CNN over there. That's what people used to watch. It's shocking. But now people can actually, if they're not, it's hard to get your videos. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because even if you did subscribe, you probably unsubscribe, you get so shadow banned. But we still have this stuff out there, and that is the hope.
Which hundreds of people are being unsubscribed from this YouTube channel. And just imagine, just a few years ago, marijuana, totally illegal. Only news source was CNN, and it's really connecting, networking, working with other individuals, just like I've been working with Jeff and Joby here. That really makes the biggest difference. And you can definitely also do that at Anarchapulco, which if you use the promo code WRC, you actually get 10% off and meet other great like-minded individuals like all of us. So check out the link below. Let me know what you think, and I'm going to try to find the off button here to try to turn this psychological propaganda off. See, they leave it up here. There we go. That's a lot better. All right, guys, stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.